Yeah, and you know, I think that's one of those things that some people just don't understand. Because for me, that's why I'm big on skill sets. Bro, like hell, I'm gonna be struggling, man. The way I see it a lot of times is, God forbid, everyone turns their back on you. What do you have left at that point? The skills that you've worked on and everything that you have in here. The industry especially, entertainment is cutthroat. It just so happens that I have a few passions within it. So that's just how it works. But you gotta understand the business, the bigger picture, looking at things from a 10,000 foot view. But sometimes it might be personal, but a lot of times it isn't. One day someone might need you, and then another day that income source or the partnership you had is lost completely. In this space, from what I've seen, and in life in general, I mean, it's like jogging too, bro. Mental fortitude is a skill set in itself. Staying in shape helps too. I just finished jogging. People can smell the desperation, bro. Most times it's a turnoff, but then other times, even if they give you an opportunity, now they have leverage over you. Now they know what to chain you up with. The only time I would say it's okay to allow that, or you could allow that, is you have some sort of plan, which refers to like never telling people what your final destination is. Where exactly do you see yourself? You can disclose some of it, but I've heard time and time again, you never want to tell people 100% of your plans, because again, that just gives them an opportunity to get in the way of it, mess it up till you can't do that, anything. And even then, I would never want that for too long if I know I'm able to change it. Oh, bro, you really just gotta be self-sufficient. Your niche, you gotta understand your audience, you gotta understand how to run advertising. There's so many different things, and if you have money to leverage, that makes it easier. Think about what you look like in peak condition. Learning about yourself, what you see yourself looking like when you are doing your very best as far as the skill sets and everything. What it'll take to continue sharpening your skills. Like for me, I work in IT cybersecurity. And at one point, I was a sales closer or account executive, however you want to call it. And having that one thing at a foundation that's bringing you in cash, no matter the weather, till you've made enough, which is subjective to each, to where you can finally rely on your main gigs or your passion full time. Of course, you know, making sure you're not getting too sucked up and, you know, distracted from your callings, which of course is something to be mindful of too. But there are of course times where you're going to need to go 110%. There are of course other times where you may only be able to go 70. I've said this before, but ultimately it's about balance. Some people will tell you that you can't do that all the time, and I agree. Life will throw something at you, and you know, you got to focus your time on that, and you might have to put those other things that you really want to do temporarily to the side. But overall, it's about balancing your priorities. As for people who have watched or followed the channel or anything that I've done for a minute, there are 4 primary things that I do: model, act, music, and digital artist. Those 4 things. Every single day I'm looking to see what I can do to make sure I'm making progress and not staying the same, or just working hard but not really making any progress. So every day I do a self-check, a mental check, a self-evaluation, whatever you want to call it, where I make sure that I'm actually moving forward and not staying standstill, still having that option. I refuse to be one of those, you know, struggling models or struggling actors or music artists where you're barely getting by, but you're kind of doing what you want to do, but you know, your lifestyle is nowhere near where you want it to be, and mentally, you're barely hanging on. Zones in one basket, looking desperate to people. Because I've seen it. Some people can do that, and look, salute to them. Maybe if you can make it faster, but playing the percentages game, bro, you do the math on how common that is. Despite how hard you work in it, I'd rather give myself the best chance of winning than trying to get that quote unquote quick hit and risking, you know, never getting that chance again. And that's, you know, screwing my life completely. At the same time, I always like to say this too. You got to be mindful that some people, they don't have that option. They don't have that luxury. It depends on your circumstances. But like I said before, you know, I refuse to be a struggling model actor in a volatile industry. One day you up, another day you could lose it all for something that possibly is not even your fault. And it's difficult, man. It's really difficult when I see even people I've known personally who have fell in that situation. I'll tell you, man, from what I've seen, people don't like others who are desperate. You can see right through. It's a turnoff most times. And then it makes you an easy target to be taken advantage of, which again is sad because some people, they don't have that option. But of course, you can also look at it from, you can gain leverage through experience. So sometimes you kind of have to put up with that and then gain your leverage through experience as long as you have a plan. And from there, of course, you can set your own rules. Of course, many have succeeded this route, and there is no right answer, as both paths, you know, are hard either way. But I refuse to be I refuse to be borderline homeless. Some of these people talking about stories saying that, man, I was homeless. If I didn't get this one thing, I would have been done. Or I had to borderline sell drugs, bro. I didn't want to. I had to do X, Y, Z. And I had to, you know, quote unquote, sell my soul to do some crazy stuff, wild stuff, bro. I'm saying, nah. How I see it, man, I'm sure we've all heard it a billion times. You got to build your own empire, or you're going to be building somebody else's. Build your own empire with people you trust.